Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you, for a few hours maybe. We play it by ear, see how it goes. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Let me get all my stuff up here on the screen. Emanuel Livingston. I am the host and the reigning, defending, undisputed king of talk. You can give me a call, 513-717-5464. 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. As always, I come in, maybe a little late. Don't be harsh. But I come in and say hi to the people. So hello, everyone. Hello. All I ask is that you come in, just say hi, and maybe tell me where you're checking me out from. So if you're in Boston, if you're in Dallas, if you're in Georgia, if you're in Florida, if you're in California, come in, tell me where you're at. If you're in Forest Park, if you're in Mount Healthy, if you're in Clifton, if you're in, just tell me where you're from. If you're from Cincinnati or the Cincinnati area, tell me the neighborhood or the general area. And if you're from outside of Cincinnati, tell me what city and or state. All right? Let's get to the hellos. Janice, there you are. Hello, Janice. Hello. We got TC in the house, checking in from Eden Park. All right. Anthony says good afternoon to the family. Crystal says good afternoon. She's checking in from Forest Park. Good afternoon. Brent, good afternoon. He's checking in from Dallas, Texas. You can't beat that. Nikki, checking in. She says good afternoon. And it ain't none of y'all business where she from, because y'all know she got an attitude, and she said her neck was moving. Kenneth. I'm sorry, Nikki. You didn't do all of that. You just said hello. I added all of that. So I would apologize, but it felt about right. Kenneth says, good day, great people. He checking in from the west side. Diane checking in from Bethesda North, I guess that would be. Bethesda North. All right. I thought it was like Bethesda, North Dakota or something. Shahara, she decided I'm worth being here for. She says, good afternoon. We back at it. She checking in from Mason. She's in the office today. Andrea, not sure which. Good afternoon. Karen, good afternoon, everyone. She's also on the west side in Westwood. And we got Brenda checking in from Fairfield. All right. So I got a few people here. Hold on, let me see something here. Got the afternoon experiment. I don't see either of the Twitter destinations on here. Hold on, let me make sure I selected them. And it says I'm streaming. All right. Well, I'm streaming to them. So just checking in, making sure that they are being streamed to. Oh, got a few more hellos. Got Butler Brown from Cartersville, Georgia. Nikki says, no clowning today. All right. Well, you can't beat no nonsense listening and watching. We got Sean D. Nutter. Says good afternoon, and good afternoon to you. Sierra, good afternoon from the underwater hockey team. Until yesterday, I didn't know that was a thing. Tessie says good afternoon. And Terry says good afternoon. They both came in at exactly the same time. Are y'all together? Y'all together? Just asking. Yesterday, had an opportunity to go to the meeting, the big meeting. I did speak with Dwight Tillery, asked him if he would be willing to come on the show. He said he would. He said just give him a call. So I'm going to try to give him a call Well, I'll give him a call later on today, see if I can get him on Friday, or we'll work around his schedule. But, I really want to talk to him. I want to find out everything that's going on from his perspective. And of course, I'll invite some people from the city on as well. Just, I don't have a position. I do have a position, but I don't have a position officially on this show as the host of the show. I don't have a position. I'm all for, though, equality and justice. I'm all for not taking money from the kids and not necessarily giving tax breaks to people who don't need them. Even though I understand the position of, hey, we got to give these tax breaks to get people into the city because they come in, that's where our workers come in, and that's where the majority of our tax base is from earnings taxes. So we might be giving them a break on the property taxes, but we're still getting the earnings taxes. I guess I get all of that. I don't know that I like it. But I'll reach out and we'll see if somebody can help me, because I'm sure you guys thoroughly understand it. You guys have no questions probably about what's going on. You know what's what, and you've made up your mind. Not me. I'm one of the, look, I just pay my property taxes. When the bill is due, basically in January sometime, I don't remember exactly, Mrs. Livingston says, hey, did you pay the property taxes? I say, no. She say, you got until whatever to pay them. And then I say, all right, and I go pay them. So for me, it's that it's that simple. But I've never tried to get a tax abatement. Honestly, I've never even thought of it. I've never even thought about it. Like, oh, if I do this to the house, then I could get a tax abatement. I never even thought about it. Anything I do to the house, I just do to the house because either the house needed or because I want it. And I probably could have gotten a tax abatement for some of the things that we've done. But I don't even think about it. I don't even think about it. People are saying they did not get a Facebook alert. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't control the Facebook alerts. I just go live. But I appreciate you letting me know. We got the GHS. Good afternoon from Hamilton. All right. Fame. Checking in from Grossbeck. Let me see. Somebody wants, so did Lincoln really play you like a Betamax player? He did. I'm not mad at him. I mean, he's like almost 80 years old. How you be mad at an 80-year-old dude for, not seeing you standing next to him? And you just kind of got to figure he almost 80. But yeah, I saw him. And I did. I walked up to him. I was standing legit right next to him. I said, what's up, Mr. Ware? And kind of stuck my hand out. And he was like, who was he talking to at the time? He was, when I said it, he had just finished a conversation with somebody. And then I said it, and then he began a conversation with somebody else. Like he didn't hear and or see me. He just flat out ignored me. But he's almost 80. He may not have seen or heard me. I didn't scream it, even though I was right. If you've ever, you probably have never, but if you've ever put on headphones after Lincoln Ware put on headphones, you realize everything has to be super loud in order for him to hear it and for it to catch his attention. So if I would have said to him, Mr. Ware, standing right next to him, it would have seemed super crazy to everybody else. People would have been like, why is he screaming at Lincoln Ware? But then Lincoln Ware would have been like, oh, and he would have noticed me. Well, I believe him when he say he didn't notice me, even though I was standing right next to him. Janice says, don't blame that on age. I don't know. But yeah, I saw, I spoke to a number of different people, and some people that I didn't know who they were spoke to me. And I always appreciate when people, but look, if you see me out and I don't know you, you maybe you watch the live stream and so you feel like we're family, because we are. And you see me, I don't have a problem with you saying hi. Hey, Emanuel. Hey, how you doing? That's what I'm gonna say. Hey, how you doing? And then you have to tell me, like, I'm so-and-so, I watch a show on Facebook, or I'm so-and-so from whatever, however you know me. And then I'll, be like, hey, how you. But other than that, if I don't know you, just a person saying hi. And a number of people did that, and I appreciate it. But yeah, you kind of gotta let me know who you are, or how we know each other. All right. Cause I see a lot of people, this is true. And it might be an age thing, even though I think I've always been like this. I see a lot of people, I'm a face person. Like, I recognize you, but I don't know where I know you from. I'm good for that. And people are good for saying, you know who I am? Like, you could just tell me, but no. You look familiar, but I don't know where I know you from. And they'd be like, yeah, we went to high school together. Remember so-and-so? I was in your so-and-so class. And I'd be, oh, yeah, now I remember you. And look, I'm not like most people. I don't say, oh, yeah, now I remember you if I don't remember you. I would still say, okay, I don't remember you, but how you doing? So, yeah, if you see me out and you want to speak, I don't have a problem with it. Just remember, I used to go to your father's church. We was 6 and we played in the room. We remember we had both had this toy we was trying to get. I was 6 and I think you was 5. And I'll be like, oh, I don't remember that, but how you doing? So, yeah. For real, I did have somebody say that to me once. They remembered me from when I was 5 and they were 6. We both grown as hell now. And they like, you don't remember me? And I'm like, no, I don't remember you. But, I mean, I don't think you lying. But, yeah, I was up there. I tried to live stream portions of it. And forgive me, I was exploring some new things for me. Like, the way that I was trying to do the live stream is different than I've ever done it before. And so I started it. And it didn't show me, like, the stuff that it's showing me here. It didn't show me on my phone. And I'm like, I don't think I'm live streaming. I mean, I'm going to hold it here. But then after a while, it didn't show any viewers. It didn't show any comments. It didn't show any of that stuff. And I'm like, I don't think I'm live streaming. So then I would stop it. And I would go back to the thing. And it didn't show me that it had live streamed. And I'm like, hold on, let me try it again. And then I would try it again. And then I went to Facebook, and then I saw all of the partial live streams that I've done. And I was like, okay, so it is streaming. It's just not giving me any information, which is terrible. But so then from there, I tried to consistently live stream. Janice says, I always remember a face, but not a name. Yeah, I'm good for that. Angela says, salutations to you, young lady. Anthony, remember I whooped that A and jump rope? Now I remember her. Cheated me out of my title. I don't like that. I don't like being cheated. But yeah, so I will get Mr. Tillery, and he's agreed to come on. So we'll get Mr. Tillery to come on and talk about it. And look, when he comes on, I'm going to ask him, because a lot of people were saying, like, look, bro, not a lot of people, a few people are saying, like, look, man, it feel to me like you just going after people, political opponents, like this is some sort of a vendetta. and let them do what they're going to do. There was a person who was on Lincoln Ware's show. And for those of you who may not be aware, there's a talk show host named Lincoln Ware. I used to work at a radio station. He was there. He's kind of legendary here in Cincinnati. And he has a show that's popular. So I refer to his show a lot because I watch his show on a regular basis. And there was someone on there that was saying, like, look, why don't they just let the mayor and city council do whatever they gonna do without any criticism or coming at them saying, I want this and I want that. Just let them do whatever they gonna do. And, you know, just leave it alone. And I'm like, that's a horrible, in my opinion, a horrible way to do things. You don't wait until everything is done before you start saying, this is what I want to see done. That's not the way that works. Or if that's the way that works, I can't see that being very effective in any way, shape, or form. In any way, shape, or form. I don't design a house and then once the house is finished saying, yeah, I want 4 bedrooms. They like, well, we already built the house. It's got 2 bedrooms. Well, it should have been 4. No, you tell me while we're in the process of designing the house what you want. So you don't say, oh, y'all working on tax abatement? Well, when y'all finished, then I'll tell y'all what I want from it. That's not the way it works. I think that's the way a lot of people do things. And that's why a lot of times you see people like, we didn't get what we wanted. Because you was trying to wait until everything was over before you made known what you wanted, or before you put any pressure on people to make sure that your wants, desires, needs are taken into consideration. I think what's happening right now, what Mr. Tillery is advocating for, because that's really, I mean, I know there's a lawsuit going on, and if my recollection of everything is correct, look, tax abatement's been around for a long time. So it ain't like city council and the mayor, they just now coming up with tax abatements. There's a lawsuit, and I don't want to say in response to the lawsuit, because they'll say that it wasn't. But so they're trying to do something different. They're trying to, I'm going to say, tweak it. Well, if I'm an advocate for a particular community or a particular position, while you're working on what it is that you're working on, that's when I step in and say, hold on, what's happening is racist. And y'all say y'all working on something, but are black people gonna get anything out the deal? Is my community going to be treated fairly in this deal? It doesn't make sense to me that you say, hey, you do whatever you do, and then when it's done, then I'll look at it and I'll say, that's some racist shit right there. Why didn't you say something when we were working on it? Well, I was trying to stay out the way. I didn't want it to seem like I had a vendetta against anybody. I just wanted it to, let everything. That doesn't make sense. That's not the way you get things done. Have you ever negotiated? That's like that's like negotiating in Bizarro World. I don't know why I'm on this Bizarro thing lately. That's like negotiating in Bizarro World. Maybe not quite, but well, I know what I want. I'm gonna wait till everything is done, and then I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna say, I don't like it. That doesn't make sense. Man, trying to be polite. Forget being polite. Try to get what you want to get. They were not voted in to do what the F ever and get an attaboy or attagirl. Nonsense. Exactly. Angela also says in the candidates forums, they ask softball questions and to sign off on these symbolic pledges that ain't worth a damn. So yeah, I mean, that was an actual conversation going on. People were mad at Dwight Tillery for advocating. Look, and I've never really understood this. Why be mad at somebody for advocating for what they want? If you don't want what they want, then you go and advocate for what you want. But don't be mad at me for saying, I want a 4-bedroom house, and you like, we don't need no 4-bedroom house. We only need 2. Why he saying 4? No, you go and you advocate like, no, make that a 2-bedroom house. And then let's discuss it. Like, here's why I need my 4 bedrooms. Here's why I need this. Here's why I need that. And then maybe you'd be like, you know what? I hadn't thought of it that way. Or you'd be like, no, that's wasted space. Let me explain what we need. And then I'll be like, you know, I hadn't thought of it that way. But don't get mad at me for saying this is what I want in the design phase. You advocate for what you want. Well, then you're going to have 30 people out there advocating for 30 different things. Great. Great. I've always felt like it's better to ask for more than you need than to end up with not enough. So yeah, go out there, everybody put what you want to see. And I'm not just talking about this whole tax abatement issue. I'm talking about across the board. I see too many people mad at people for speaking up for whatever their interests are or whatever they believe to be the interests of their community that they want to represent. That don't make sense to me. If you're looking at Dwight Tillery and you like, man, he ain't the mayor no more. Why don't he just shut up and let the mayor and city council do what they do? And then when all is said and done, if he don't like it, then he can say something. You're backwards. You're backwards. But that's the way a lot of people do it. A lot of people do it that way. And I'm not saying that you have to agree with Dwight Tillery. If you disagree with Dwight Tillery, that's fine. You can say, I don't agree with him. I don't agree with, even though I have to be honest, just on the surface, the things that he's saying, I don't know how anyone can disagree with them. Now, of course, as they say, the devil is in the details. So you might look at it and, you know, Dwight Tillery is saying like, hey, and I'm really boiling it down to something, but Dwight Tillery is saying, hey, rich white people in Cincinnati shouldn't get all these benefits. And if these benefits ain't going to be evenly spread so that everyone has access to them, and you're just saying to rich white people who don't need a tax abatement, here is a tax abatement, which is, here is money. Because trust me, if I didn't have to pay my property taxes, that's extra money in my pocket. So you're saying to them, here is tax dollars. You don't have to pay that. So you're giving them money. And if you say, we don't have enough money, we need more money, stop giving money to rich people who don't need the money. And as was addressed, I want to say ad nauseum, but it was addressed that when you don't make people pay their property taxes, and that's the way you fund your school system, you're taking money from the kids. So you're saying, and again, this seems to be his position kind of boiled down. You're saying to black people and poor white people, or poor other people as well, we ain't got nothing for you. Can't help you. Sorry. You're saying to kids, we gonna take money from you and we gonna give it to rich white people. And it feels like what Dwight Tillery is saying is, that's backwards and that's wrong. And it shouldn't happen that way. That's not the way things should happen. And you got people mad at him, disagreeing with that. Well, okay, maybe they're not disagreeing with that. That's why I say, I don't know that you can disagree with him kind of on the surface. Now, you might look at it and say, which I think I heard Reggie Harris. His name is Reggie Harris, right? I saw him yesterday or last night. He was there. I think he came in with Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney, Scotty Johnson, and Lincoln Ware. They might have all rolled together. I don't actually think they rolled together, but they arrived together. They arrived together. Or at least they walked into the meeting together, and then they all sat together. So I did see him. I didn't get an opportunity to speak to him or anything like that. I could have. I didn't take the opportunity to speak to him. But I thought I heard him saying that, hey, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. They have to try to get people in because the majority of the tax dollars that come into the city come in through earnings tax. And so I get, okay, we'll give you a tax abatement on your property tax if we can get your earnings tax, because your earnings tax is going to be more than your property tax. So we'll easily make that trade-off. No problem. We'll make that trade-off easy to get the more money in. Now, what I think, and I don't know if this may happen. Again, I don't really follow this stuff probably as closely as I should as a property owner. But it would seem reasonable to me that if you're saying, look, y'all know I like to use numbers that my brain can handle. I will give up that $15 in property taxes to get that $100 in earnings taxes. So, okay, come on in. Come on, move to Cincinnati, and you won't have to give me that $15, that property tax. You won't have to give me that. But I'm going to get, in the long run, $100 in earnings taxes. So I'm picking up $85 as opposed to losing out on that 15 because you wouldn't have moved here anyway. Okay, I get that. But from the educational standpoint, there should be some sort of a trade-off. If you're giving a tax abatement to somebody, I'm sorry, city, you should have to, what portion of that $15 was going to go to the schools? The city should have to give that to the schools. You gave them a tax abatement. You said you ain't got to give money to the kids, so you got to replace the money that the kids would have got. That sounds reasonable to me. But it might not be that simple. Which is why I'm gonna get Mr. Tillery, Mayor Tillery, to come in and hopefully maybe explain it more thoroughly. And then I'm gonna reach out to a few people from the city. We'll see if somebody will come in. And again, not explain it to y'all, just explain it to me, because I'm sure y'all get it. Angela says, have they ever explained / divulged how much gambling revenue has gone to education? I'm certain they have. Somewhere. Hold on, I saw somebody else. People are reactive, not proactive. The black community is made to vote this way. So why are you surprised with that mindset? I don't know if I'm surprised. I just don't agree with it. And I've always been an advocate. For people advocating. Back in the day, people used to complain, like, oh, why they out there protesting? Oh, why they boycotting? Oh, no. Okay, if you don't like it, you don't have to participate. Well, I mean, I know it's problems, but there's a better way to handle it. Then you go about the better way of handling it. Let them do what they're doing. You do the better way. But I always find that the people who say it's a better way, they're usually not doing anything. You mean Regina? No, I don't mean Regina. I don't mean Regina. Daryl says, y'all promote black community to vote blind with the Democratic Party. Oh my goodness. No one does that. No one does that. You're trying to get people to vote Republican. No one promotes vote blind with the Democratic Party. No one promotes that. The only people who say that are people who make stuff up to attempt to get you to not vote for the Democratic Party and vote for Republicans. They say that people say that, but no one actually says it. And you're not fooling nobody. You're not fooling anyone. We are all, those of us, well, the majority of us in here are smart enough to see what you try to do. You would be much more effective just saying, I'm a Republican, and here are the reasons why you should vote for Republicans. Lay out a good case for it, and then maybe people will do it. You'd be much better off doing that than trying to pull the double reverse. Nobody's falling for that. We see it. Nat sees it. Who's voting blindly? Black voters aren't dumb. Why the hell would we vote for the GOP? See what I'm saying? Every time you do that, people have the same question. Because people are open. Give me a reason to vote for the Republican Party. And then you don't have a reason except, well, they're not Democrats because y'all blindly voting for Democrats. That's not a good reason. Okay, here we go. Biden told black community to vote for me, and I will talk to y'all after the election. Have he talked yet? Well, yes, he has. But that's not the point. What's the reason to vote for, since, why should I vote for Trump? 513-717-5464. You won't call and make the case because you don't actually have a case. You don't actually have a case for Trump. Alzen? I met Lincoln at Kroger off Mitchell. My girls were in grade school. Mr. Ware was so nice to all of us. We were from out of town, Indiana. He made us feel welcome. Gave my girls $100 Kroger card. That's nice. Congratulations, maybe. I'm certain he didn't buy the Kroger card. Kroger, it was probably a promotion, and Kroger said, here are some cards to give out to people. And what would you expect him to be? Like, I'm not saying it because Lincoln's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. But you're telling me that to say what? I don't understand. Kenneth wants to know, can anybody tell me why NASA brought the pyramids? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Daryl says, I did say that S. What S are you talking about? I'm not sure. The people that say there's a better way never tell you what the better way is. And they don't go about it. Most times. Most times they don't go about whatever the better way is. Daryl says, I didn't say that S. Okay, again, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I hear Lincoln say, just go down the ticket all the time, E-Man. So why should black people vote for Republicans? You keep going back to so-and-so said vote for Democrats. Black people vote for Democrats. No, vote for Democrats. Forget all of that. The simple way to get people to vote for who you want us to vote for, tell us why should we vote for Republicans? Lay out the case. Why should black people vote for Republicans in 2023? Tell me. Don't tell me no more people who said vote for Democrats. You tell me, why should black people vote for Republicans in general and Donald Trump specifically? Because that's what you're advocating for. So just tell us why we should. I'll listen. I will just listen. 513-717-5464. I won't even interrupt you, Ben. I'll give you a straight 7 minutes to lay out the case for Republicans and in general and Donald Trump specifically. Now, I argue you won't take me up on that offer because you don't have a case to make. But I'm telling you, the whole black people blindly voting for Democrats, don't convince anybody, well, no reasonable person, to vote for the Republican Party. Why would you vote Democrat and you have nothing? They gave nothing. Again, don't make the argument against the Democratic Party. We see what y'all trying to do. You, Ron, as well. Make the argument for the Republican Party. So what are the Republicans doing, since y'all keep talking about, for black people? What is the Republican Party doing for black people? E saying you fit the descriptions. The others think we all look alike. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oh, we got Ron calling in. Ron. Oh, come on, click it. Go here. Ron.
Hey, Emanuel, how you?
I'm fantastic. And you?
I'm good. Okay, so I'm going to make the argument for the Republicans. Now, again, I'm an independent. I don't vote Republican or Democrat, but I vote Republican voted for Trump Republican, and I'll vote for DeSantis or Trump Republican for this reason.
All right.
I don't feel that the LGBTQIA agenda should be pushed in our schools. And they wanted to make that, in Florida, they wanted to make that a part of the CRT, and DeSantis, and that is on the newsreel, DeSantis said, teach that history, but don't teach. We don't have no room for anybody to teach our kids what our sexuality is. It is not appropriate for a teacher to teach sexuality for students. And they say third grade on, they want to do this. Now that's just one case.
Ron,
other case.
Hold on, before you get to the other case. Before you get to the other case, where did you get that information from?
DeSantis was on live on TV, speaking in city in Florida, and he said it live on TV.
Okay, hold on.
That's where I got it.
Hold on.
Okay.
So, not what did you hear Ron DeSantis say? Because I don't know if you know this, but politicians just make stuff up. Where did you?
I know this.
So wait a minute. I want to clarify the question for you. You're saying that they're gonna teach sexuality in LGBT stuff, fold that into critical race theory, and teach that to third graders. Where did you get that information from?
The information was on the news. DeSantis, they
wait.
I didn't read it.
Hold on. You said it was.
Because say I didn't read the information in manual.
Okay.
Because see, you always try to play semantics.
That's
And
not semantics.
I'm trying to tell you.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, I'm trying to tell you. Okay, well, I'm trying to tell you why I vote Republican.
But wait,
And
hold on. Wait.
Okay.
No, but I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just, because you said some stuff, the idea that they're gonna teach third graders critical race theory, and in teaching third graders critical.
Wait. Okay, what is the Don't Say Gay bill? Do you know what the Don't Say Gay bill was?
I'm not familiar with all of the ins and outs of the Don't Say Gay bill, but it's
but you know what it is in general. What it is? What is it?
Well, hold on. Let me say.
But what is it?
The idea that they are going to teach third graders critical race theory
not critical race theory.
You did. You
That's
said
third grade. I said it. Not critical race theory. The Don't Say Gay bill, and the CRT was grouped in with it. And of course, I didn't see it.
Well, that's why I asked, where did you get that information?
Okay, but okay, I didn't see it. It's false information. So, what is the Don't Say Gay bill?
Again, I'm not all that familiar with the Don't Say Gay bill.
Yeah, but what's your familiarity with it?
I know it's some nonsense by DeSantis. I read it a long time ago.
No, it's DeSantis. It ain't no nonsense by DeSantis. And the left is who put that Don't Say Gay bill on there. Don't Say Gay bill. I'm gonna give you the gist.
Ron.
Okay.
Ron. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let you give me your perception of the gist of it. But here's what I'll tell you. Okay. I read about it. What was that? A year or so ago, and I don't remember any of the details about it. I remember thinking, that's nonsense, and I remember DeSantis was pushing it. So then you tell me what is in
DeSantis was not pushing it. No, DeSantis wasn't pushing it.
He was.
The school board and the left was pushing it to say that teachers can, on the third grade on up, can teach and talk about the individuals, the students' sexuality and sexual preference with them, and that's inappropriate.
What?
And I told you what. I'm telling you why I vote now Republican, and that's what your question was.
Okay.
And now Donald Trump had the United States, the world leader in exports of oil. Now we've not depleted. We ran through half of our strategic reserves, and we still sending oil to China. We're sending oil to China. What sense does that make? And we're cut out the refineries and stuff to where we can't pump. We're not pumping our own oil.
Ron, can I ask you a question? May I ask you a question? I'm going to accept everything you said as fact. It may or may not be, but I'm going to accept it as fact. So the United States under Trump was the leader in oil and oil exports. That's what you said, right?
Yes.
Who were we selling that oil to?
Everybody.
Including China?
Yes, of course.
But you just said selling oil to China was bad.
Selling oil to China is bad when we depleting our strategic reserves and not putting them back.
Wait, so is
That's
it
asinine.
Ron?
They threatening war against us.
Ron,
why would we sell them oil?
Ron, is it good to sell oil to China, or is it bad to sell oil to China?
boy, man, it depends upon your position. If we were the world's leader,
I'm asking your position. Is it good to sell oil to China, or is it bad to sell oil to China?
Not now. Hell no.
Oh,
hell no.
What if Donald Trump was in office right now? If Donald Trump was in office right now, would it be good to sell oil to China?
He wouldn't be selling oil to China.
You
and
just
we
said
damn
he would.
sure not. No. We wouldn't be selling the oil to China, and they're threatening to invade Taiwan. That's asinine.
How long has China been threatening to invade Taiwan?
Well, hey, man. Oh, God. Hey,
how long has China been threatening to invade Taiwan?
They didn't say it. They had said they had claimed that territory, but they did not threaten. And you can you look at all the news stations that you want.
Oh my God!
They did not threaten to invade Taiwan the way that they are threatening now. They did not have the capacity to invade Taiwan the way they do now. No. You want to play semantics.
Hold on. What do you mean? I don't know that. Ron, I don't know that you know what semantics mean. You keep saying I'm playing semantics. I don't think you know what that word means. But secondly,
you want to play games.
Secondly,
I know what's
oh my goodness. Secondly, China has been threatening to invade Taiwan for years. They've been doing it they were doing it when Trump was in office. They were doing it before Trump was in office. If it's okay to sell oil to China, then it's okay. But check this out. Because you still ain't really told me why you vote for why we should vote for Republicans.
You won't let me. You won't let me.
I'll shut up and let you talk for I don't know how long. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Hold on, Ron. I'm gonna shut up. You got 2 good minutes. Why should black people vote for Republicans?
Okay. Now I already said that don't say no, all that shit. That's ridiculous. Our oil reserves are not depleted, but they are in disarray. They said that we would have to pump oil for another 25 years to replace what we have depleted. Now, we are not strong in. We are not. They talked about what we looked at like with the world with Trump's era, but in Biden's era, we're looking like a punk.
Ron.
And not only that,
Ron,
no, let me finish.
Ron, you're supposed to be telling us why. Don't mention Democrats. Don't mention Democrats. Just tell me why black people should vote for Republicans.
Because we need to get strength back in the White House. And we need, and I don't want to say vote Republican. I want to vote for DeSantis or Trump, whichever one get in. I don't want to, or Nikki Haley, whichever one is a Republican, because Democrats have.
You're talking about Democrats again. You're talking about Democrats again. Why should I vote Republican?
I mean, if somebody keeps smacking you in the face,
so you don't have a reason
dealing with him.
So you don't really have a reason.
Wait.
Wait, hold on. Can I help you? Because I think I get what you're saying.
What?
You're saying, look, black people, don't vote for Republicans because Democrats are not good for you. They haven't been good for you, and they're not gonna be good for you. That's what you're saying. That's your case, right?
Hey, that's my case.
All right. So to counter that, tell me, how are Republicans better for me?
Republicans don't. The majority of Republicans are conservatives. they don't believe in abortion, and that's a big issue for me. And abortion, is a sticky situation.
Okay, wait, hold on, because I gotta simplify this. Hold on, I gotta simplify this. So you're saying
280,
Ron,
218.
Ron,
Please let me.
No,
say
Ron, hold on, stop. One reason you're saying black people should vote for Republicans is because you believe that the abortion issue is that important to black America, and the Republican stance on it somehow strengthens black America.
Yes.
All right. What's another reason?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, what's another? We got that. What's reason number 2?
Okay. The Democrats had the House and the Senate. Stop. And the White House.
You're talking about.
Okay, wait. Okay, no. Okay. The thing about it is, it's the whole thing in a nutshell. We look weak right now. We look weak right now.
All right, Ron. Look, I appreciate your call. You came up with one reason. You could only come up with one. That was it.
I came up with a bunch.
No, you only came up with one. You don't. We get it. You don't like Democrats, but you can't tell me good stuff about Republicans except they don't believe in abortion. That's the only thing you could come up with.
And they don't believe in that LGBTQ agenda. They don't believe in if somebody say something, get them out of there. They can't work no more. They can't work no more.
Hold on. Stop. I gotta pause you right there. Hold on. I gotta pause you right there. Have you ever heard of the Dixie Chicks? You ever heard that term?
Yeah.
Do you hold on? Stop. That was a simple yes or no. Do you know who was against the Dixie Chicks and canceled them? Who did that?
I don't know. But look. That it's again, they want to eliminate that woke agenda.
All right, I appreciate your call. And look, y'all, this is really simple. This is really simple to me. And he can vote for who he wants to vote for. I'm not trying to convince him to vote Democrat. But if you're trying to convince black people in general to vote for Republicans, give them a reason to vote for Republicans. Like, tell me, okay, abortion issue. I believe there are a lot of black people who are against abortion. So you might have something there. Like, hey, look, they're against abortion. You're against abortion. You might have something there. You could. So there you go. You got one. Those black people who are like super strongly against it, that might be a reason for you to vote Republican. See, you don't have to mention Democrats there. You can just say, do you believe in abortion? No, Republicans are also against abortion. That's why you should vote for them. But they don't believe in canceling people. I think they were the pioneers when it comes to cancel culture. They were the pioneers, and they're still very active in the field. They don't believe in cancel culture when it's working against them, but they down with it when it's working for them. Just for the record, I'm not against cancel culture. Not at all. If someone does something that you don't like or don't agree with, politically, morally, socially, and you want to not support them anymore, don't support them. I'm not against that. But to say that Republicans don't believe in that and don't agree with that is just either you don't understand or you lie. You either don't understand or you lie. And I'll go with Ron doesn't understand. Because Republicans are forever trying to cancel people. Brent says Trump got Jamil Hill and that redheaded comedian canceled. Yeah. So I'm not, again, if you can vote for who you want to vote for. But if your mission is to try to convince people to vote for somebody, which I hate when political ads do this. I understand it. It's effective for some people. Oh, hold on. I got another call coming in. Caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, it's Tina.
Hey, Tina.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. And you?
I'm good. So I was a little late today, but I caught your moment with Ron D today.
Okay.
And I just need to know, is Ron D handicapped after his situation?
He has, well, he's classified it as aphasia. I'm not 100% familiar with aphasia, but I know he seems to have issues gathering his thoughts and then, taking those thoughts and forming them into the words that he wants to convey them. So he does have some issues doing that. I don't know if that is technically being handicapped or whatever, but I try to be patient because I understand that there are some issues after he had a stroke.
So do you think he's like, so it's different. I'm not saying that he is, but I hope that he's not. If he's handicapped or disabled, right? If he was, so I'm just making up a scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And he's on Medicare or Medicaid with that situation, wasn't it brought to our attention at the State of the Union that the Republicans was trying to get rid of Medicare?
Well, there are a few Republicans that would like to see it on the chopping block every time, like every year. There are a few that would like to see that. But I don't think that really matters to him. Because
I guess the reason why.
Because Tina, here is my thoughts on Ron. And Ron's a nice guy. But again, Ron is looking at some dodgy sources. He's getting his information from some dodgy sources. Like if you're using Newsmax and Fox News as your source of information, so because they say something, you believe it, and you believe it wholeheartedly, you're gonna be confused just about factual things.
You're right. So he watches Fox News instead of watching the black channels that are just reading it, not from a Fox News made up stuff. If that makes sense. Like, all I can say is, like, look at our past history as being black people. I'm assuming he's black. I'm guessing. I shouldn't guess, but I'm guessing.
He is black.
If our grandparents and our ancestors fought to get to where we are today, to drink from the same drinking fountain, live in certain neighborhoods, and so forth, if it wasn't for those ancestors that were in that situation, Republican or Democrat, he's fighting for the people that are against black people, like DeSantis, right? So I don't understand what his fight is with the Republicans and Democrats, but he says he's independent. That's why I'm a little confused at what he's trying to say in dispute with you and maybe somebody else. But I don't understand his point all the way where all this stuff he said, I'm Republican this, Republican that. But everything he's trying to fight for them, he's fighting for his own black people, let alone himself.
Well, he doesn't view it that way. He views it somehow. Look, some of it is Ron being disingenuous. Ron says, I'm not a Republican. He calls it and he says, I'm going to tell black people why they should vote Republican. But then later in the conversation, he says, but I'm not telling black people that they should vote Republican. But then he says, but I'm going to tell you why you should vote Republican. Okay. So some of it is just him being disingenuous. Again, I believe other parts of it is he believes misinformation. And then he searches other sources of information just to back up the misinformation that he already believes. Now, that's not just a Ron D thing. A lot of people
Right.
do that. A lot of people hear something and then they search for information to back that up as opposed to just searching for facts. But that's my take on Ron D. He would probably disagree with me, but as it stands right now, he is completely sucked in by misinformation, and it clouds all of his thoughts when it comes to political discourse, and he's not gonna let it go.
So do you think if Ron D took the Republican Democrats out the situation, like said there was no such thing, and it was literally just a black and white thing, what side do you think he's going to pick? The white side, and he's black, and they don't like black people?
I think
That's what I would like to know, what he would say. Like,
yeah, I think it would all depend on what the people who are giving out misinformation on what they wanted him to do. It would all depend.
but he's black. Well, I've never seen Ron, but it just seems like he's just for them. And then when he says about the abortion thing, he's a man. He cannot tell a woman what to do and how to do it when it comes to an abortion situation.
Well,
there's so many different reasons when it comes to that.
I'm not sure about that. I don't agree with you on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think people are allowed to have a view. Like, life is not just a woman issue. Life is a human issue, right? And so to say, you know, if Tina is pregnant and Tina is considering murdering her baby, well, as a man, you can't tell me not to murder a baby. I don't agree with that. Now, you may not agree with my classification of it as murder, but if I do, if that's the way I see it, you can't really tell me I don't have a say when it comes to life because I'm not a woman.
You're right, but when it comes to abortion, because working in the ER at two different hospitals in Cincinnati, I've seen women raped, beaten the crap out of them, almost die, or sometimes they died and came back because of the health staff, and that person became pregnant, right?
Okay.
And in that situation, when a woman is beaten and raped, if she doesn't know they're selling, or she does know they're selling, but the way that was taking place and how she got pregnant, I don't think the woman should be forced to have a baby with somebody she didn't know, or a brother or an uncle. I think abortion is good for that situation, if that makes sense. I know it's in life.
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Republicans, like old men, shouldn't tell a woman that's been in that situation, or a 13-year-old should be in that situation where you can't have an abortion because we want to bring the economy back up. To me, I don't think that's right. Now, if it's just, I'm tired of having kids with my husband, I don't want to have no more kids, I want to get an abortion. I guess. But and when it's also like a health issue, yes, if it's her life or the baby's life, where the baby's only like the first trimester, I think if it's to save her life, I think they should abort the baby. So there's so many different reasons why abortion still needs to stay legal based off the situation.
No, look, I think I agree with you for the most part. A few things you said, but I think I know what you meant, so I'm not even going to kind of pick on that. So I think I agree with you for the most part. However, I can't, and this is just me, I can't in good conscience advocate for women to have a right to make decisions about their own bodies when people won't advocate for just humanity to have a right for what to do with their own bodies. You know how many of those same women who are advocating women's rights when it comes to abortion, who were advocating mandated vaccines and stuff like that, you want to have a right to choose what to do with your body, but I don't get to have a right to choose what to do. While I agree with you, I can't get out there on that ledge with you just because I need to see it all around. So either we are for body autonomy or we're not.
Okay. So if we have to get an abortion, right? How about we cut y'all little, We get the sausages off.
Well, that's that's not even the same. It's not in the same ballpark. It's not even in the same ballpark.
Why not?
Because cutting off a penis is no one's trying to dig out your vagina. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's trying to dig it out and sew it up.
Abortion, that's how they do it.
No, it's not. No.
In a way, I mean.
No, in no way. So that's what I'm saying.
The way I'm saying it, but
it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Okay.
It's what would they call that? A false equivalency or something? Cutting off a penis is very different than having an abortion. Not even in the same ballpark.
Okay, so let me make this scenario. I know it's going to be weird, but I'm going to ask. So if a man gets raped by another man, which I've seen a lot.
Wait, hold on. Say that again. If a man gets what?
Raped.
Okay.
By another man, what should happen to the assailants that did the rape?
They should probably go to prison.
For what?
Rape.
Okay.
What would you say?
Well, I mean, yeah, it works out that way, I guess. Sure. But since a man can get pregnant that way, but if a man rapes a woman,
look,
she gets pregnant,
again, I'm agreeing with you. I agree.
Okay.
People should not force women to have abortions. I agree with that. I don't like the idea of an abortion, but I agree people should not force women to do it. I just can't right now, because people say stuff like what you said earlier, oh, you a man and a man don't have no say. Look, if I don't have no say, and if it ain't okay for me to do whatever I want to do with my body, then I'm not getting out here hollering and screaming and rallying about an issue that I have no say over and screaming for you to have a right to do whatever you want to do with your body. So either way, I'm out of it. But I agree with you. I do agree with you.
Okay. Because I just I'm not saying that people can't have their opinions on different points, but I'm not disputing your points of things. It's just some of what Ron D says. This kind of I don't know, one-sided or make-believe, and that's not the type of world that we live in. It doesn't make sense. And as far as the medical field or just being in the certain parts of life, right? Certain people shouldn't say certain things if they don't know. Like, I don't know everything 100%, but I know when I see people being resuscitated because they overdose or they got shot or a car accident and just plain death, and then I see the families having to, they're hurt. So with all that being said, it's just like some things that this doesn't make sense to me. And I get people that put their little 2 cents in and state their opinion, but sometimes I think people just need to hear the other opinions and stop fighting for the wrong information that they're getting from like Fox News. I don't know. I don't know if I was just around the world with that, but
all right.
I hope you understood.
I understood. I did.
Well, thank you, and you have a good one.
You do the same.
All right.
All right. That's Tina. But yeah, no, I honestly agree that people shouldn't be telling people what to do with their body. I agree with that. But everybody just threw that out the window when the daggone vaccine was around. Oh, people shouldn't tell people what to do with their body, but they should be able to force you to get a vaccine. And I'm sorry, just because of that, I can't. That's why I leave that issue alone. I know how I feel. I know what I think. But when you got women telling you, you ain't got no voice in it, you shouldn't have an opinion on it, just shut up and all of that good stuff, then okay, I just shut up about it. And whatever happens, happens. And then they overturned Roe v. Wade. And then everybody wanted everybody to be outraged about it. But in my opinion, it was just an extension of what was already going on. That's why I be trying to tell y'all about slippery slopes. When you start advocating for the government to mandate what people can and cannot do with their bodies, because it feel good and it sound good, and then the government mandates what you can and cannot do with your body, you can't say, Janice, you can't say, well, it's different. No, it's not different. Sure, it's different situations. But if the government can tell you what to do with your body, then the government can tell you what to do with your body. And I don't think we should ever be in a position of arguing that the government is or should be in the position to tell people what they can and cannot do with their body. But y'all did it, and y'all didn't see what y'all was doing. But they saw what it, like, hey, we got these people who are, I always view it like this. The government was watching, the Supreme Court was watching, the pro-life community was watching, and they like, hey, we got them. Like, what do you mean we got them? They still pro-abortion. That's okay. They're advocating for government control of people's bodies. They're opening the door for us, and they don't even know it. And then somebody was like, but it's a different situation. And then some smart Republican lawyer was like, it don't matter. It's about the government making medical decisions about what people can do with their bodies. And they're advocating for it. I think we're in a safe place where we can do this now. And he was like, well, let's go for it. Well, I know the lawsuit was already in the works, but hey, let's do this. And they did it. And so now y'all got to deal with, oh, it's a different situation. Well, this is what y'all advocated for. So be it. I'm not going to be out there on a limb for y'all. Janet says, in any society, the government must intervene to save the masses. And that's what they feel like they're doing by overturning Roe v. Wade. They feel like they're intervening to save the masses, those children who will be born. There's going to be a lot of them. They're going to save them all. That's what they feel like. So, yeah, you're right. You're right. Joe Biden is the one called for the mandates. I like how you slipped the Republicans in. Again, you try to be fixated on Republican and Democrat. I didn't say who called for the mandate. I said who was supporting mandating. That's what I said. And I wasn't talking about the Republicans supporting mandating. I was talking about those pro-abortion people. But if you want to look at everything through that prism, that actually shows the hypocrisy then of the Republicans, which I believe there's a lot of hypocrisy to go around, because Republicans were against the government telling them what to do with their bodies, but therefore telling women what to do with their bodies. So that would just then be hypocrisy. See, I'm against the government telling anybody what to do with their bodies. So the masses of unborn don't qualify for at-risk status. No, they don't. Not the way people view it. They don't. Ron says he doesn't vote. That's why he votes independent. He votes his interest. You're a Republican and you vote Republican. You ain't fooling nobody. You said it. Why y'all be trying to fool people? Y'all ain't fooling nobody. That frustrates me more than anything with regard to that conversation. You're not. You're not. You support Republicans. You are a Republican. You vote Republican. You try to convince other people to vote Republican and not vote Democratic. And then you say, well, I'm independent. I just vote by interest. Look, I might look stupid. Sometimes I might sound stupid. But I'm not as stupid as I look and sound. I'm not as stupid as I look and sound. I can see through some of this stuff. Let's see. Did Jimmy Carter pass away? I thought I saw. Did he pass away? No, they're not saying that he passed away yet. I saw a tweet from somebody that said something about Jimmy Carter, and I know he's in home hospice. So basically, you know, the idea is that he's going to pass away pretty soon. People don't know when, but it'll be pretty soon, they believe. But I keep hearing and seeing tweets like, oh, in memory of President Jimmy Carter. And I'm like, and I had to keep going and checking, like, did Jimmy Carter pass away? And they'd be like, he's in home hospice. Like, okay, he's in home hospice. Can we stop people? Can people, I know they're not, can people stop saying that this man is dead until he's actually dead? Until he's actually dead? Which sounds morbid as heck, but everybody, what, you want to be the first person to say it? Jimmy Carter died. Like, no, he didn't. Oh, well, Jimmy Carter died. No, he didn't. Oh, well, Jimmy Carter died. No, he didn't. Then he gonna die. Jimmy Carter died. I was the first to say it. Like, you said it 80 times before it happened. Being the first to say it, don't. And what's the joy in that? Like, what's the joy in being the first person to announce that somebody died? Stop. Stop. It's horrible. It's just horrible. But I keep saying that because, because I keep seeing it. Right before I went on the air, which is why I asked, right before I went on the air, I got another thing that said, it was from some organization in Georgia, which is why I thought maybe it's true. And they were like, you know, in memory of President Jimmy Carter, we will always be with you and you will always be with us in spirit. And I was like, oh, he must have passed. And then I just looked it up. No, he didn't. Did somebody hit send like they wrote it out? Because, you know, the news stations and stuff, I'm not against them. You got to do it. The news stations and stuff, they're already putting together their, you know, they going to do this reel when he died, a kind of recap of his life, early life, presidency, life after the presidency, and then, you know, into his passing. They're already putting all the graphics and everything together. So what, they did that on Twitter and then somebody hit send before they were supposed to hit send? Just stop doing it. Just stop. It's horrible. What else is going on? I don't know how we got into abortion and Republicans versus Democrats, because I was talking about tax abatements. I don't know how. This is interesting how conversations just morph. Interesting how that happens. But as I was saying, I was at the thing. If you saw some of the live streams yesterday, I'll get better at on location live streaming to all of the platforms. I think I might need another app downloaded to my phone to help everything integrate better. Announcement. I will not be on tomorrow. There will be no afternoon experiment tomorrow. I have a few things. Excuse me. I have a few things that I have to do, some things that I have to take care of, so there would not be an afternoon experiment tomorrow. So enjoy your day tomorrow, and that'll be that. Yeah, we were talking about how people allow decisions to be made and then complain about the results, as opposed to being proactive and, when the decisions are being made, advocating for what they want to see. That is exactly what we were talking about. Again, I don't know how that turned into a Democrat versus Republican conversation. But I do still, the lines are open for people who are advocating for Republicans, for black people in particular, to leave the Democratic plantation and come and vote Republican. The lines are open for people to tell me why. Why should they? Why should they? The lines are open for that. But I'll make this, try not to make it all about being anti-Democrat. Not why am I against the Democrats? Why am I for the Republicans? Because I'm for people who I believe are gonna, do what's in my best interest. Angela wants to know, when can we expect our First Amendment audit live stream? I don't know yet. I'm gonna tell you, I'm not getting out there in the cold. I don't like the cold. I really, really, really don't like the cold. Like, more than most people, I don't like the cold. So I'm not getting out there in the cold. But once it warms up, then I'll get out there and I'll do stuff. I'll probably only go live when I feel like I'm in danger, when things are getting kind of, hairy, and I'm like, oh, people need to see this because these people probably gonna lie. Angela says it's been 60s for a few days. 60s ain't warm. 60s ain't warm. And 70s is just barely passable. But I got some other stuff to do. But no, I can't. This is a cold 70s. Oh, there's a difference. Some 70s are nice 70s, and other 70s are like cool 70s. I went out today. It was a cool, 68. It wasn't like, ooh, this is 68. It feel good. It was like, oh, it's still chilly out here. Let me put my coat on. Would you vote for a Republican with your best interests? Show me one, and then I'll decide. Show me one, and then I'll decide. Different 70s? Yes, different 70s. There's a difference between, last week or week before last, one day it was, I think it was close to the 70s. It wasn't quite in the 70s, but it was a nice sunny day. And it was warm. It was a light breeze, not gusting. It was a nice day, and I was like, I can take this coat off. I can roll my windows down a quarter of the way and let some air circulate through the cabin in the car. That was a nice 70s. Today, it wasn't hardly no sun. The sun was hitting you, warming you up. It felt nice and a little cloudy 70s, and put my coat on. I was like, man, it's not all that warm. So, yeah, there's a difference. We want to see it go down from the jump. Well, I'll have multiple cameras. I'll edit them and put them out. So why you gonna edit them? I know somebody gonna ask. I heard you say it before you even said it. I heard the thought. It's one of the powers of being the king of talk. I'm going to edit it for time's sake, but you'll see every significant thing. And I might put up raw video, if need be. But come on, this is going to be an actual channel. So this particular channel, when I go and I watch First Amendment audits for like people who go live, it'd be like 30, 45 minutes of nothing. I'd be like, why didn't you chop off all of the nothing? Get to the meat of the matter. So I don't want to just put, oh, he been live for 4 hours. There ain't nobody watching it for 4 hours with me just standing there on the sidewalk. But then, when somebody come up to me, then we'll see what happens. So, yeah, you got to be a little strategic about this thing. Got to be a little strategic about this thing. Do you ever vote for Winburn? I voted for Winburn before. I didn't vote for him last time, but I have voted for Winburn before. When I was in a position, I was having an actual conversation with Winburn on a regular basis. I used to work at Charlie Winburn's church. And when I was having conversations with Winburn on a regular basis, knew where his head was and all of that kind of stuff. Dependent on the issue, because I don't agree with Charlie Winburn on everything. Actually, a number of things Charlie Winburn and I don't agree on. That does not make Charlie Winburn a bad guy just because he doesn't agree with me. It only makes him wrong. Not agreeing with me typically makes you wrong. But yeah, we didn't agree on some things. So it all depends on the position that he's running for, where he is, his mindset. But I have voted for him before. And it depends on who he's running against. Nat said he could buy his own fried chicken, so why should he vote for Winburn? That's me. We trust you to immediately get on their nerves, like when the police wouldn't let you with the other medium. Oh, I knew what you meant. You said media. I knew what you meant. But that's what I'm saying. I won't be live, but you'll see everything unless things start going a certain way. Then I'll go live. So are you a Republican man or a Democrat? I'm an actual independent who leans heavily Democratic. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not here. Here's the difference, Ron. Here's the difference between you and me. Or at least one of the differences that I see that I think is noteworthy. I'm not trying to convince you to vote for Democrats. I'm not telling you that voting for Democrats is what you should be doing. I'm just doing what I'm doing. You're actively trying to tell people that they should be and trying to convince people to vote for Republicans, all the while claiming independent. You're nowhere near independent. It's not true. It's not true. I find it difficult to put myself in a position where I would vote for a Republican because I believe they're a hate group. But I will vote for another independent. I will vote for another independent. I would look at them and it would all depend on, what they stood for. But I could vote. I would lean, I lean heavily on the Democrat side. I'm open to independents. And I voted for some Republicans, but I believe they're a hate group. So it's going to be really difficult for me to vote for them. But again, Ben, I'm not here trying to convince you to vote for Democrats. That's a big difference. That's a big difference. I'm getting people, I want people to get the fact that the Democrats have not lived up to its promises, and we're tired of it. And the Republicans have really done a great job for black people. I know it kind of seemed like it makes sense to you. It seemed like it makes sense to you. I use one of my bad analogies. Granted, this is a bad one. Right out the gate, I'm telling you, this is a bad one. But you're in a relationship. You're in a relationship with a guy. Or, well, since you're a man, you're in a relationship with a woman who doesn't do everything she says she's gonna do. Like you know what I'm saying? She don't cook as much as you think she should cook, or y'all don't have sex as much as you think y'all should have sex, or, you know, sometimes she might tell you she gonna do something and, you know, she don't do it. And that's bad. It's annoying. It's, you know, not fulfilling. But, you know, she do a good job. She raised the kids. You know what I'm saying? She's a good role model for the kids and all that kind of stuff. She has her good qualities. And y'all together. And then you got this other chick that just take your money and spend it. She talk to you like a piece of crap. Y'all never have sex. She ain't ever gonna cook. She done told you, I'm not cooking for your dirty ass. And hell no, you ain't gonna be jigging all up in me. But I'll take your money. Buy me a car. Give me some presents. And you like, your friend like, man, you ought to go with that other girl. Is your girl doing what she said she was gonna do? Do she cook for you? Not all the time. Y'all have sex every night? Not every night. Does she do this? No. Then shoot, you should go with the other girl. Why would I go with the girl that done told me we ain't gonna have sex? The girl that done told me she ain't gonna cook? The girl that treat me like crap, don't do nothing but take my money and ask for stuff. What I got might not be the best. It might not be everything I want. But I get something out the deal, as opposed to going with the chick that's gonna just treat me bad. That's my other option. Now I'll stay here. If I got to be somewhere, I'll stay here. I'm not going with the bad chick. I'm not doing it. What's she gonna do for me? She'll take your money. I don't need that. I could use my money. But she ain't doing what she said she gonna do over there. But I know what she gonna do if I go over there. So the idea of going with the Republicans because the Democrats ain't fulfilled all of their promises, that sounds foolish to me. That sounds foolish to me. Yeah, she a good role model. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she with my daughter, and if my daughter grow up to kind of be like her, it wouldn't be a bad thing. I would make, you know, I got some say so. I would influence, you know, my daughter, like, when you get married, treat your husband really nice. But just in terms of a human, she's not a bad human. I'm not going to the chick that I know gonna treat me bad. She don't like me. She just want my money. I'm tired of not getting no P from the Democrats. You ain't getting no P from the Republicans either. They don't like you. They don't like you. They not giving you no P. So that's why I don't get it. I don't get it. Look, I admitted it wasn't the best analogy. It wasn't the best analogy. Hold on. The independents, Republicans in hiding, never speak about specific policies. They speak in generalities, which is very true. Which is very true. Ron says, but the Democrats took my money. Then vote for the Republicans. I don't care. You can vote for whoever you want to vote for. Just stop trying to convince me to vote for Republicans. I recognize they're a hate group. You don't yet. Might, maybe never will. And that's cool. Tony says Democrats or Republicans don't fulfill anything. Blacks and browns. Not a Trump fan, but he kept it real about how we get nothing in any vote. Did he keep it real? Did he? I don't know that he did. I reject that he did. I think he was like the ultimate politician. He was the ultimate politician. Ron says, when did I tell you to vote for Republicans? When you called in and said, I'm going to tell you why you should vote Republican. I believe those were your exact words. So you telling me it's not no racist Democrats? No, I never said that. Trump kept it real is the most hilarious phrase I read in a long time. Trump told the truth mixed with a lie. Which I would say a lot of politicians do. A lot of politicians do that. But I guess it's just different when you know, when you have a long history, when you have a long history of racism to look at, and then that person becomes the president and you like, well, what did he do racist? Like, you got to know all of his decisions were clouded by racism because he's a racist. Ron says, you asked a question. Okay, I asked a question, but you still said, I'm going to tell you why you should vote for Republicans. You can't start a conversation with, I'm going to tell you why you should vote. I'm going to tell black people why they should vote Republicans. And then a few minutes later say, when did I tell you to vote for Republicans? The why you told me to vote for Republicans ain't important when you ask that question. You started a whole conversation where I'm going to tell black people why they should vote for Republicans. You can't then ask, when did I say vote Republican? When you said I'm going to. See, this, it's not fair. It's not fair. Blacks who say they vote Republican like the troll blacks who vote Democrat. No, I think they really trying to change people's minds. Like they're genuinely trying to get you to vote Republican. And they think that saying, well, the Democrats ain't this, or it's a Democratic plantation, or black people blindly vote for this. They think they're shaming you into considering Republicans. That's their goal. If we make it shameful, but that don't work. Donald Trump's entire pitch to the black community was, black people, what do you have to lose? True. Democrats would do more for blacks if there were more Democrats in office. I don't know about that. I think Democrats would do more for blacks if there were more black Democrats in office. Because we can see a lot of Democrats and they won't necessarily do anything for black people. And I think that comes with a caveat as well, because I think if more black people, maybe not even then. Because I understand that Democrats can outnumber Republican voters. Democratic voters can outnumber Republican voters, but Republicans can still win. Explain what I'm talking about. If there's a black Democrat as the candidate, a lot of white Democrats won't vote for that black Democrat. So just being a Democrat doesn't mean you're fair and open-minded. You don't see color. That's not what that means. So I guess I'm saying that to say you would need black Democrats in office with the mind that I'm going to do things to help the black community, even if I don't get reelected. But what happens a lot of times is black Democrats get in office and they get to thinking about getting reelected. And they understand that if I do a lot to help the black community, those white Democrats won't vote for me. So I can't help the black community as much as I might even want to help the black community, because if I do, I won't get reelected. And they use that as, well, I got to get reelected. I can't help the community if I'm not in office. But you being in office, sometimes you can't help the community because you're concerned about getting reelected. So you're concerned about pleasing the white voters who won't like you doing things for black people. So you need black Democrats in office, kind of who ain't concerned about getting reelected. And they're like, look, I'm here to represent my community, whether I get reelected or not. What I'm going to do in these 2 years or in these 4 years or in these 6 years is going to be to represent my community. And then I'll just have to stand on that, whether I get reelected or not. And I think that's a hard stance to take. And again, I remember Christopher Smitherman. Y'all remember Christopher Smitherman? He wasn't a Democrat, but he was an independent, and he was out there, saying the stuff that people wanted him to say and doing the things that people wanted him to do. And then what happened? He didn't get reelected. And then that hurt him. And so, in my opinion, he devised a plan. He said, I got out here and I worked hard for these black people. And I worked hard with these black people, but that wasn't enough to get me reelected. So it's going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to ingratiate myself to them and then switch it around and be heavily focused on the white community. Because I know if I win over the white community, they'll reelect me. And that's what he did. And that's what happened. And then he got back on city council and he was there till he was term limited out. That's what happens. And people be mad if black people would have showed up and voted. No, it ain't the black people's fault. Because sometimes some black people really like to blame black people for everything. Black people don't get credit. Like, people don't typically be like, boy, if it wasn't for black people, I wouldn't have got elected. But people would sure be like, boy, if it wasn't for black people, I could have got reelected. Why didn't black people show up to vote? So he said, I'm not going to rely on black people. I'm not putting my political future in the hands of black people. Because I realize I need white people. And I realize white people, a lot of them don't like to vote for black people. That's just That's just the truth. That's just the truth. David says exactly. Yeah, Ron says that's called a sellout. I'm not sure what you're saying is called a sellout. TC says next time I keep in mind the story about the peen. I don't know what that means either. Tony says, hey man, don't forget starting our gun club might be helpful when we start the First Amendment audits. Being legal is good in racist Cincinnati. All right. Ben says you're laying out every reason why those Democrats won't ever give y'all black voters S. I don't agree with that. There are Democrats who do advocate and do things and make policies with some black interests in mind. Not enough, but definitely more than Republican. Color should not matter. Now there's so many new races popping up. Color shouldn't matter, but it does. But it does. And I've heard it said, and I've said it. Everybody says it. Anybody with any credibility understands it and realizes it. Black people don't seem to have a problem voting for white people. But white people have a problem voting for black people. And that's why politicians, black politicians, they have to be, if they want to be like career politicians, they have to be careful how they move. I stand with the party that advocates for democracy, not the party who actually led an insurrection. That's just me. I kind of agree with you. My man Terrence says if there are more Democrats in office, that probably means most of the country support progressive policies. Until the white communities support progressive policies, Democrats won't be able to do a lot for blacks. Then white women voted for Barack. White women voted for Barack. Yeah. And he got in twice. But again, he was very timid about what he could and couldn't do and could and couldn't say. Because as a politician, he knew he had to walk that line. Hell, even Michelle was like, I couldn't wear my hair the way I wanted to wear my hair. Because people was going to go bonkers. So they were very, very aware. Daryl says Nipsey Hussle killer has just been sentenced to 60 years in prison. All right. Dante say, so black people screwed themselves by not voting for Smitherman. And he was carrying the water for black people. I don't know that I agree with that. And I honestly don't think that that's the case. Because look, the way that I see it is if you down with black people, you down with black people. No matter what happened, if you down with black people, you down with black people. You can't just flip it like that. But if you down for yourself and you okay using black people to prop yourself up, then when black people are no longer propping you up high enough, it's easy for you to flip and say, well, shoot, I can use white people to prop me up. Because it ain't about helping them or helping them. It's about being propped up. That's the way I see it. I want to get elected. Why? Because there's certain things that I want to do. And I'm not necessarily saying that some of this stuff is bad, but if my brother own a business and I can get in office and help funnel money to his business, I would do that. And if I got to use black people to do it, then I would do that too. If that's my objective. But now, if my objective is just to be there and represent black people and do things that are in the interests of black people, then that's what I'm going to do. So I think I wouldn't say black people screwed themselves. I would say it was an opportunity for people to actually see what the intentions were from the start. Samuel says, wow, that can be political character destruction when playing that game as Christopher did. Ron says, send me my email. It's Emanuel Livingston at yahoo.com. Emanuel Livingston at yahoo.com. I have to admit, I don't check it as often as I should. David says, man, if you create a gun club, please consider having a personality test for each prospective member. Oh. Oh, let's see. Scroll. Genesis, black people miss what Barack actually did. Or most people miss, what Barack actually did just by being elected. As Farrakhan said, if Obama does nothing else, he changed the image of a black man all around the world. Words and images can change the world. You saw the onslaught of hate after he left office. They had to gradually begin to turn the tide back. I don't know how I feel about that, Janice. I really don't. And I'm not a Barack Obama hater. There's some things that he didn't do that I thought he should have did, and some things that he did that I thought he shouldn't have. I don't know that. I mean, I guess you get elected president, you get some credit, right? He got elected, so he gets that credit. I don't know that changed the perspective of the black man around the world. I don't know that to be true. It might have changed people's perspective about him. But understand, it doesn't change the perspective about the black man anywhere. Because people just look at him and, well, he's different than the rest of them. That's how people do. They're able to compartmentalize. They're able to take Barack Obama and put him in this box and say, well, he's Barack Obama. They see me walking down the street, he ain't no Barack Obama. He just in. They see the image of a black man in America and they like, oh, they should all be like him. It doesn't change the perspective of black men or people around the world. It just gives them another one to block off and say he's one of the good ones for those people who want to feel that way. So I don't know about giving him all that credit. But I'm not anti-Barack Obama. Was Don Lemon wrong? You're talking about saying Nikki Haley is past her prime. I don't think he was wrong. I know people don't like it. People didn't like it. But how can you be mad? You're talking about giving a competency test to old people, and then you get mad because somebody criticized you as a woman because of your age. You're trying to discriminate against people based on age. And then you're offended because you feel like somebody makes a comment about you based on your age. That just don't make sense to me. That just don't make sense to me. So no, I don't think he was wrong. I don't think he was wrong. Not at all. Oh, and also, and I got to get out of here. Also, last thing, this has nothing to do with anything else that we talked about. I'm not a Tiger Woods fan by any stretch of the imagination. But because Tiger Woods gave that man a daggone tampon, don't make Tiger Woods anti-woman or evil or, misogynistic or any of that kind of stuff. It's a stupid joke. And the idea of you hit like a girl, or you throw like a girl, or you run like a girl, that's not anti-girl. Come on, don't we all know you take the average man and the average woman? I'm not the average man. I'm like 5'5". The average man ain't no 5'5". You know what I'm saying? So I'm not the average man. But you take an average man and an average woman. The average man is going to run faster. He's going to throw further, throw harder. All of it is just a fact. Sure, you got some, outstanding women, whatever. But even you take the elite women athletes and put them up against the elite male athletes, typically the male athlete will dominate. So the idea that you throw like a woman really is just saying, I'm like a man, you're like a woman in the average sense. I'm superior to you physically. That's it. That's it. I could see somebody arguing it was tasteless. Because you walk around with a tampon in your pocket, waiting for the opportunity to give it to somebody. Like, how did he know that he was going to outdrive dude? He probably just knew. Hey, give me a tampon. I'm going to take it out here. And that would be weird if, you just digging in your pocket for change and then a tampon came out. Why you got a tampon in your pocket? And you got to explain, well, see, because later on, I'm about to go drive and against this guy, and I'm going to outdrive him, and I'm going to be able to pull this out and give it to him and tell him he hit like a girl. It was just a weird thing to do, to be walking around with a tampon in your pocket. But in terms of being evil and bad and wrong and sexist and misogynistic and all that stuff that people kept bringing up, stop it. It was a stupid joke. And I'm sure that amongst them, it was pretty funny. Amongst them, it was probably pretty funny. They try to make Tiger Woods evil. Now, I don't like Tiger Woods. I don't like Tiger Woods because, the man say he ain't black. F him, he ain't black. I don't like him because he's not black. Hold on, let me reword that. I don't not like him because he says he's not black. I don't like him because he acts as if being black is a negative thing. And it isn't. That's my perception of it. But just because I'm not a fan and all that kind of stuff, I still have to be honest about stuff. See, that's what I'm saying. Tiger been hanging with those women. They made him apologize. That wasn't a joke. Did he apologize? I didn't really see all the follow-up to it. I kind of tuned it out when they started going overboard with how Tiger Woods is bad and anti-woman and all of that kind of stuff. Didn't Don say she had blood coming out of her? Not Don Lemon. Donald Trump said that about, what was it, the the one chick that used to be on Fox News, Megyn Kelly. He said that I think about her, but not Don Lemon. Don Lemon just said, "Oh, girl was past her prime." He ain't been on CNN since he said it. They booted the man. I mean, he'll be back, they say, but oh my goodness, they booted him. All right, y'all, I got to get out of here. I got some stuff I got to do. Again, I won't be here tomorrow. I will not be here tomorrow. I'll possibly be like watching Lincoln's show, but I might not even have time to do that. We'll see. But I will be back Friday. I'll see if I can get Mr. Tillery on Friday. I'll let y'all know for sure. You know, I'll send out a message or something. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Hold on, I guess I should put it up here. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am the king of talk. Trying to think, there was something else I wanted to say before I go. I can't think of what it is, so it must not have been that important. Until next time, I hope something amazing happens to you over the course of the next couple days that's life-changing. And I really do mean that. Until next time, it's been the Afternoon Experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm out, y'all. Peace.